yoga for women's health. We're going to do a little bit of strengthening, a little bit of flexibility, and some mobility work today. It's about a 30-minute class, so you're going to want to grab your dumbbells. You might want to have a yoga mat or a blanket to put under your knees. We will do a little bit of work on our knees. And you might want to grab a yoga block if you have one. It's absolutely not necessary, and you can certainly start this class without any weight at all. We're going to start with just a little centering to come into our body and into our breath this morning. So I want you to just come to mountain pose. Your feet are going to be about hip distance apart. Your palms are going to face forward. And if it's comfortable, you could close your eyes. And all we're going to do is take a moment to check in. Just to start to notice what you feel in your body, what you notice in your body today, the way your breath is moving. You might notice some places that are holding tension. And then just find your feet on the earth, standing, grounded, and rooted. Then we're just going to start to move a little bit. So on your inhale, I want you to lift your arms up to the sky. And as you exhale, just bring your hands down to heart center. Inhale, circle your arms up. And exhale, hands come to heart center. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, circle the arms up. And exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Now I want you to take your right hand, reach it up and over and take a little side bend. Breathe into the rib cage. And then bring that hand down. Let's take the other hand up and over. Breathe into the rib cage. And back to center. Now we're going to start to move the arms to get into this shoulder a little bit. So you're going to just take the left arm. You're going to reach it up. And then you're going to start to just open it out to the side and behind you. And then bring it back up again and over. Now, if that feels like a little too much, you could certainly bend your arm. Do it with your elbow bent. Or just go as far as comfortable. Let's do that one more time with the left arm. You can take your body with you. And back to center. And let's do the other arm. So I believe that's the right arm. You're just going to reach it up. Take it behind you. And back toward the front. And let's do that just a couple more times. Again, bending the elbow if it feels like a little too much. And maybe not taking it all the way around if that's a little more than your body wants today. Last time, let's bring it over. Great. Let's come back to mountain pose, palms face forward. Inhale, circle, sweep your arms up. And as you exhale, just fold your body forward, maybe taking a nice bend in your knees. And inhale, lift, half lift, and exhale, fold. And inhale, let's reverse. So let's just roll ourselves all the way up, one vertebrae at a time, all the way back up to standing. All right, let's take that again. Inhale, circle up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, circle up. Exhale, hands to heart. Let's take the right hand up and over. Side bend. Good. Inhale, back up. Exhale, take the other arm over. And inhale, back to center. Now we're going to take those arm circles. So inhale, lift the right arm up and over. And then back again. One more time. Up and around. You can take your gaze with you. Follow your hands. Back to center. And one more time. Inhale it up. Back behind you. And back to center. Let's do the other arm. I'll turn around. Up and around. And back to center. So all we're trying to do here is get these shoulder joints just a little bit lubricated. And back to center. And one last time. Up and over. And back to center. Wonderful. Now, on your inhale from mountain pose, take your arms up. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale to half lift. Exhale to fold. This time you're going to plant your hands on the ground. Step yourself back to a downward facing dog. You might pedal your knees. Fingers are spread wide. A moment here to check in and just notice what sensations you're feeling. Then as you exhale, go ahead and lower your knees to the ground. And let's take a few rounds of cow and cat. So as you inhale, draw the heart forward, lift the gaze. And then as you exhale, press the floor away, tuck the chin and the tailbone. Inhale back through with your heart, lift the gaze, cow, and exhale back to cat. One more time. Notice how your spine feels. Trying to get a little bit of flexion and extension in the spine here. And then back to neutral. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take your right leg, take it out to the side, and then you're just going to take some rocks back and forth. So you're getting a little inner thigh stretch. This is also great for the wrist flexion and extension. Let's go one more time. And back towards the heel. Good. Let's come to neutral. Now we're going to inhale, lift the right arm up and look up. Good. And exhale, thread it underneath. Inhale, reach it up, look up toward the sky. Exhale, thread it underneath. And one more time, we're just opening at the side of the body, getting a little upper back rotation, thread it through one more time. Good. Bring that hand to the floor, bring your knee back to the floor. Now we're going to go to the other side. This is this place where you might want to put that blanket under your knees. So we're going to take the other leg out to the side, whichever one you didn't do the first time. Take it out to the side, and we'll just start with gentle rock. So your toes are facing somewhat toward the front, forward, and then you're just going to rock back and forth, back and forth. One more time to come up through center. Then we'll come to that neutral place. We're going to take the arm up, look up toward the sky, and exhale, thread it under. Inhale, look up, exhale, thread the needle. And one last time. Inhale, look up, and exhale, thread the needle. All right, let's bring that hand back to the floor and bring that knee back down to the floor. Now this is a space where if you have your blocks, you may want to grab them. You want to make sure you've got one of your dumbbells handy. And you're just going to step the right foot forward. So hands on blocks, perhaps. Step the right foot forward. Frame the foot. And then you're just going to lift yourself up. I want you to imagine that you have magnets on your inner thighs. They're pulling together. A little tiny tuck of the tailbone. And then notice if you're leaning forward, engage the core. Lift a little bit through the core. Nice. Then we're going to reach down. We're going to grab a weight in the opposite hand. So whichever knee you have forward, you're going to take the weight in your opposite hand. You can certainly do this without weights at all. Now we're going to come to lean a little bit forward onto that front leg. So your weight is just down by that back leg. You're going to pull. So it's going to come, turn sideways. So you can see it's going to come right to the side here. And then you're going to extend it back behind you and then lower it back down. So you're going to lift and then extend. Good. So we're taking these little rows. So you're going to row and a tricep extension. There you go. Let's go for, this will be 4, I think. Good. And release. Let's do that again. Take it behind you. And this will be 6. Nice and slow. 7. Good. We're trying to keep that arm close in. This is 8. You could stop here. I'm going to go for 10. You could stop at 8, or maybe you go for 10. This will be the last one if you're still with me. Awesome. And then release. Just go ahead and put that weight down on the floor. We're going to lift ourselves back up. Bring your arms forward. And then you're going to look up at your hand and we're going to open to the side and then back around to the front. Let's do that one more time. Open. You can take your whole body with you and then back to center. Now let's try one. Try to keep the head mostly forward and then back to center. That might be a little more challenging. And then back up, open, and back to center. Awesome. And then from here, we're going to just bring that foot down to the ground. We're going to bring the hands to the floor, and let's take a few rounds of cow and cat. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze, and exhale, push the floor away. One more time, inhale. And exhale. And last time, inhale. And exhale, round through the spine in cat pose. Then bring yourself back to neutral. Maybe you bring your hands back up on those blocks. This time, we'll step the other foot forward. So if you're following along, it's going to be your left foot. You're just going to frame the foot. You're going to slowly lift yourself up there. All right. Those magnets are on the inner thigh. So you're engaging the inner thigh. Press down into that front foot. And you're just going to lean down, grab your weight, and you're going to bring it to the opposite hand. So it's going to be by the back leg. And then we're just going to take a little lean forward. So we're not drooping all the way over. We're still keeping the upper body fairly straight. We're going to row and extend. There you go. Drop it right down to your leg. You're going to pull up, elbow stays in, extend it behind you. Let me turn to the side. You'll drop it down, pull it up for a row, tricep extension. There we go. Let's go. This is 4. You got it. 5. Nice and slow. 6. So you pull up a little faster and then release it nice and slow. Here we go for 7. Keep pressing into that front foot. This is 8. Maybe this is your last one. You're going to take a little breath. I'm going to go 10. So you can follow along. So you want to go for 10. We've got one more. Yeah. There we go. And release. Now we're going to come right on up to center. We're going to take the hands forward. We're going to take this front hand, the hand that's closest to me, and you're going to open it, then open. So we're getting into that upper back and the shoulder. Back to the front. Open it up. Back to the front. Now this time we're going to do it. We're going to try to keep our body fairly forward. It's a little harder to do that way for most of us. So we're getting upper back rotation, the shoulders involved there, just a little bit. Awesome. And then come back down, bring your knees back down to the floor. And then I want you to take your hands just about a hand step in front of you. Let me get myself organized. You take your hands about a hand step in front of you. You're going to curl your toes under. You're going to lift your hips up. You're going to come into that downward facing dog for a breath or two. How are you feeling? Check back in with your body. Notice what's challenging. All right, let's lower the knees to the floor. All right, we're going to do a little plank work, a little push-up almost. So take your hands about a hand step in front of you. There's going to be a little diagonal from your shoulder to your wrist. Spread your fingers wide and then shift your hips forward. And then as slowly as you can, keeping your back in a nice straight line, you're going to lower all the way down, seeing if you can get everything down to the ground at about the same time. Then you're going to inhale, press yourself back up and send your hips back to a little child's pose. Good. Now on the next inhale, we're going to come up, rock forward and out into that knee down plank. Slow and controlled. Back nice and straight. We're going to lower. This is a hard one. And then as you inhale, we're going to press into the knee. And back to a child's pose. You can hang out in child's pose for a breath or two. Let's do one more if you want. So we're going to rock forward, lower slowly. Nice. And then press up. And we'll all meet in a child's pose for just a breath or two. Check in on our time. Fabulous. All right, here we go. Let's come back up to our knees. Hands are a little bit forward. Knees are together. We're going to curl the toes. We're going to lift the hips up and back and come in to a downward dog. Take a look up at your hands. We're not staying here long. Bend your knees. Take a step or a hop forward. You're coming into a forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. And inhale, reverse it. So just bring yourself all the way up to stand. All right, we're going to come back to that mountain pose. So you want to have your weight handy. So I'm going to take it and put it right in front of me for my mountain pose. All right. Before we do anything else, we're going to start from mountain pose, hands by your side. We're going to do a little things to keep our bones healthy, a little bit of impact. So I want you to inhale, lift up off your heels and slam them back down. Inhale, lift the heels and drop the heels. Lift and drop. Lift and drop. Let's do one more. Lift and drop. Good. Let's come back to mountain pose. So go ahead, grab your weight. And this time we're going to take it between the palms, just like this. So we're only going to use the one weight between your palms. We're going to do a little deadlift here. So look down at your feet. You want them about hip distance, maybe a little bit further apart. And then you're going to hinge from your hips. You're going to shift those hips back, and you're going to start to lean forward, letting the weight just skim the front of the shin. Then you're going to press into your feet, tuck your tail, lift yourself back up. Then we're going to pull it up to our chest, press it overhead for a shoulder press, back down to our chest. Drop it to the waist, hinge the hips back, start to fold, press into the feet, lift to the shoulders, and lift it up. You got it. Let's do that again. Lower the weight. Hip shift back. We're going to lower the weight. Now we're going to press into the feet really hard. Tuck the tail. Lift that weight to the chest. Bring it on up for an overhead press. Let's go again. You got it. You're going to lower. Good. And tuck and lift. Good. When you tuck that tailbone, it takes it out of your low back a little bit if you have a tendency to do that. So let's go again. Good. Press. Hoist it up there to the chest, and then we're going to lift. All right. I think we've got one more. Let's do it. We're going to roll forward and press and lift. Squeeze the butt and right on up to the sky. Now, let's just set that out of the way. Come back to your mountain pose. Inhale, circle, sweep your arms up. Exhale to fold. Inhale to half lift. Exhale, fold. We're going to bring the hands to the floor, and you're just going to step yourself back to a downward facing dog. I'm going to turn around this way. Good. There we go. Downward facing dog. Lower your knees to the ground. Good. Just take an inhale, pull the heart forward for a little cat. And then extend it for a cat pose. One more time. Good. And back. Good. Let's come to neutral. Now, take your hands about a hand step forward. We're going to do those little push-ups again. We're going to shift the weight forward into a knee down plank. So don't let your ribs drop. You want to keep a nice long line. And exhale, lower, slow, and control. Good. Push yourself back up through hands and knees. Then the hips toward the heels, a little baby child's pose. Good. Next inhale, we're going to come up, rock forward onto your hands. Exhale, lower, slow, and controlled. Good. Inhale, dress it up. And exhale, back. Let's pause here. Maybe making a little pillow with your head, with your hands for your head. And take a breath. Oh, notice where you feel strong in your body. Notice what feels like a challenge. Relax your shoulders, let go of any of those judgments or those thoughts. Nice. We're going to bring our hands back to the floor. We're going to lift up through hands and knees, curl the toes under, shift the hips up and back. We're coming into a downward dog. Take a look up towards your hands, a little bend into your knees. Walk, hop, or lunge your feet forward. Inhale to half lift. Exhale to fold. And on the inhale, we're just going to roll ourselves back up to stand. All right, you're doing it. Let's do one more round of those deadlifts and shoulder presses, and then we'll move on down to the floor. All right, so grab that weight. You're going to take it between the palms. Look down at your feet. They're just a little bit about hip distance apart. You're going to shift the hips back so like you're going to sit in a chair, and then slowly skim the front of the legs, and then you're going to press into the feet, tuck the tail, lift, squeeze, and then right on up to shoulder press. Back down, lower it down. We're going to hinge forward, press, and right on up to shoulder press. This is 2. And here we go. Press and 3. So just think about this as getting things off those high shelves that you can't reach. So we hinge back. Now we're picking up groceries perhaps, or our grandchild. We're getting strong, doing all those things we want to do in midlife, or that we need to do. All right, hinge it back. And up, squeeze, and lift. Good. I lost count, but I think that's 6. Hinge it back. Press, lift, squeeze on up to a press. We'll call that 7. We're going to hinge the hips back, press it up. There's 8. You could pause here and take a mountain pose. I'm going to go for 10 if you're following along. You listen to your body. So you do. If it's 3 today, if it's 5 today, if it's 10. Listen to your body. Oh, here we go. That was the last one, I believe. All right. We're going to send that weight over to the side. And we're going to come back to mountain pose, and we're just going to pause here. Oh, take a couple of breaths. Notice what you notice. Maybe some sensations that have come up for you. Some new feelings in your body. New muscles that are starting to work that maybe haven't worked in a while. Good. And on your exhale, let's just roll forward. Plant the hands, sit back or hop back to your downward facing dog. We're going to exhale, lower to the knees. Nice. And then we're going to take the leg, the right knee, pull it in towards you, then send it out to the side, back and down. So it's like we're making this little circle here from kneeling. Do that a couple of times. Then let's do the other side, pull the knee in, then it goes out and behind. These are great for hip mobility. They're kind of hard, so take it nice and slow. Feel each movement. Last one on this side. There you go. All right. Let's come down to our backs now. Make sure you have a weight handy because you're going to need it. All right. We're going to come down to our backs, and as you come down, I want you to pull those knees in. Give yourself a hug around your knees. So you feel like your tailbone's curling up towards you a little bit. And let's just hold it here and breathe for a few breaths. This is a great lower back release. This is a great one if you have sciatica. But if you feel any pain down the leg or into the hip, release the feet to the floor. All right. Now, let's all release our feet to the floor. Oh, place your hands on your belly. Let's breathe into the belly so that you can feel the belly expand. And then exhale, let all that air go. And let's just take a few breaths like that. So breathe into the belly. I call this belly breathing. And exhale, release. Now, if you want to visualize on the inhale, a little lengthening of the pelvic floor. And as you exhale, a little lift in the pelvic floor. Let's try that one more time. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, the lift. All right. Now, I want you to notice where your back is touching the floor. And I want you to press those bottom ribs into the floor. Press the back of your shoulder blades into the floor. And you're going to feel a little tuck here and a little activation in your core probably. So just notice how that feels to press that. Now press your feet down a little bit. So you've got the feet pressing down just a little. You've got the low ribs pressing down. You've got the bottom of the shoulder blades pressing down. And you can feel that's a pretty strong movement just right there. All right, now relax. Now we're going to add a weight in our hands. So you're going to take your weight. You're going to do that palm grip again. So you're gripping it between your palms. And you're going to bring it over your head. Now let your shoulders stay in their socket. We tend to want to reach up like this. We want to keep the shoulders in the socket. And then engage. So engage the lower ribs, the back of the shoulders, and the feet. And then as you exhale, you're going to lower that weight overhead just as far as you can go without lifting the ribs, and then back up to center. We're going to lower. So this is just great core work. It's great shoulder work. It's an overhead pull. So we get a little pulling in there. And just keep going. So you might notice that you have a tendency to lift those ribs. Just pause, reconnect, and start over. So it's not a race here. And when you feel like you've had enough, you can pause. Let's do one more together. There you go. All right, let's release that off to the side. I want you to take a big full body stretch. So legs are going to stretch out, arms are going to go overhead, and you're going to just take a breath. And then the next time you exhale, I want you to just pull your knees back into center, hug yourself around the knees. This time you might gently rock from side to side and give yourself a little back massage. Might feel good to do some circles even. All right, now let's lower the feet to the floor. We're going to do a little more core work. So let's practice just breathing here. So I want you to take your hands beside you. I want you to take your breath in, so breathe in. And then as you exhale, I want you to pre-contract these muscles. So I want you to pull them in, you'll feel, yeah, and exhale. And then release them, inhale. And exhale, pre-contract, really feel that contraction. And then release them. Now we're going to add a little marching to that. So now that you kind of have an idea of what that pre-contraction feels like, hands by your side. So you take a big breath in. Start to exhale, contract, lift the foot, and lower. There you go. Inhale. Exhale, pre-contract, and lift your other foot. You're really getting those deep intercostal muscles. Good. Relax. Inhale. Exhale, pre-contract, lift the other foot. We're just alternating. And release. Soften. Inhale. Exhale, pre-contract, and lift. And lower. Relax. Inhale. Exhale, pre-contract, lift. And lower. Relax. Inhale, pre-contract, or inhale, then exhale, pre-contract. And lift. And lower. Fabulous. Now take a big full body stretch. These are not those six-pack muscles. These are those really deep core muscles that we want to strengthen. It helps, especially if you have any low back pain. All right. We're going to go one more time. Grab your waist. Bring it between your palms. You've got this. Engage that lower rib cage. Press the feet. Notice if you're lifting out of your shoulder socket, bring the shoulders back into socket. And overhead and back to center. Over your head and back to center. Let's go for a few more here. You notice you're relaxing and releasing that low back from the floor. You want to re-engage because that's working those deep inner core muscles. Good. These are great. Stability muscles. They help us with balance. You got it. All right, back to center. Release that off to the side. We're done with the weights for today. Pull your knees in. Give yourself a little hug. A gentle rock if you like. A breath or two. All right, and let's release. Bring your hands to your belly. Oh, you can close your eyes here if you want. Relax your jaw. Relax your body. And let's just take a few of those lovely belly breaths to close out our time together today. Breathing in. And breathing out. Notice what you feel and where you feel it. A couple more of these breaths. And on your exhale, see if you can relax. Because when you add those weights in, you might be holding extra tension. So just relax your face, your shoulders, wherever you notice there's extra tension. Breathing into the belly and releasing. And then just let your breath return to its regular pace. All right, girlfriends, you did it. That is yoga for women's health. A little strength, a little stability, a little flexibility and mobility. I'm so glad you were here today. join me on our next Wednesday. I believe that's January the 3rd for Yoga for Women's Health. It's going to be a regular Wednesday class at noon. You sign up for the class. It will be recorded and I can send it to you for later. Have a great rest of your day.